Okay. Well, now we're live, so check that it's actually like streaming onto the podcast one.
Yeah, it is. I see
Okay,
it.
cool.
It is.
Uh,
Alright, I'm gonna reload the
that's fine.
page to make sure it didn't do the wrong name and stuff like that.
Cool.
Right.
Nope, it's correct.
Okay. Everything's working.
Ooh.
Ahem. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Agony of Moon podcast, or welcome if you've never been here before. Shit looks a little different today. And that's because we have a very special topic, a very special thing that is going to happen in our Taste of Agony segments, and Moontrace and I just decided to show our faces. I am joined, as usual, as you can see, on my right, at least, by Moonlit Dawn.
Oh.
We got Trace over here, Necro down beneath me, and
You know
Plushie.
Hi.
Today's topic is going to be conspiracy theories. However,
Ooh.
Trace is going to be the main host for today's episode after I get done with this Taste of Agony segment. In which
I also have one.
In which I might fucking die. So,
I think I should go first because I just have a drink and then you just have death.
Oh yeah.
okay, you go first.
Drink and
Alright,
then
I
death.
have the mystery Mountain Dew flavor.
Yo.
So that's what I'm gonna take a sip of.
What does
Wait,
mystery
let me
taste
just-
like?
We'll see in a second. It smells nice. It smells great, actually.
Ooh. Describe the smell
I know
to
that
us.
smell. I'm trying to figure out what the smell is because I know the smell. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Okay.
It smells fresh. That's what I can describe it as right now.
Necro, I don't know why, but I can just imagine you just like so close to your mic, like almost eating your mic.
I mean, I can do that if you really want me to.
Not this shit.
It tastes like sour gummy candy.
Ooh.
That's what I was
Like
saying.
it has the flavor of sour gummy candy, but it isn't sour. It's
Like,
good though.
Yeah.
it tastes like citrus, but also like candy.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying.
yeah, it's really good. I really like it.
Okay. So,
All right, time for you to die, I guess.
yeah. So,
Oh,
for those who have been on the internet for any single extended amount of time, you will know about this challenge. It is called the Pocky One Chip Challenge. Basically, the company Pocky, in their infinite wisdom, decided, hey, let's make the spiciest tortilla chip on Earth and make it a viral internet challenge. So here I have in my hand the One Chip Challenge 2022 edition. The box is coffin shaped, and it apparently turns your tongue blue. I have kept this
Okay.
in my drawer.
I can honestly say, so I have had a little bit of this sort of. We made ramaroni. However, we did not have any spices to spice up the ramaroni. Dalton, I do not fear you. Anyways,
I
we
was grabbing
smashed
knife
up.
to cut open the box, you fuck.
we crushed up the chip and put it in the ramaroni. Now normally it's yellow because it's macaroni. It's got the cheese. It was
That's why it
Eldritch
was-
Horror Green.
That was the picture you said?
Oh my
Yes, that's what that was. It was
Oh,
Eldritch Horror
dear.
Green.
Oh.
It tasted pretty good though.
Ooh, I love that.
God.
I thought you said that
Okay.
was Chucky's or something.
So
Oh.
I have the box here in my hand. It hasn't been opened. There's still like the stickers here on the sides keeping it shut, so I'm gonna cut this open. I feel like I shouldn't be doing this. I feel like this is some kind of like occult ritual that I should not
Oh
be
yeah,
partaking in.
certainly. No. Those are great. You always want to partake in those, especially when they involve me.
Shut up, Necro.
Wow.
You're good looking. Well, you can't just do that.
Yes, I can, and I will.
Oh. Okay, so
What does it look like? What Eldritch Horrors are contained?
Ooh,
Oh,
well,
that's
so
actually
we
kind
have
of
the
boring.
coffee chip box. Here we have the chip itself.
a chip.
Yep.
Nicely packaged. We have a little foldable here.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. What is this?
Ooh.
Okay, how long can you last before you... Oh, this is like a freaking... like a leaderboard here. So it says, how long can you last before you short circuit eating or drinking anything for relief?
You
1
going
minute
for
is
a record?
powerless, 10 minutes is powerful, 30 minutes is supercharged, 1 hour is invincible. And then they have an advertisement here for all of their other chips and a coupon for a free bag, which is
Ooh.
nice. It expires on March 31st, 2023.
Oh,
Ooh. You're gonna go try to set a record, Dalton.
We may.
We shall see.
Okay. On the inside of the lid, it has the rules. Rules for the challenge. Eat the entire chip, prove it, show us your tongue. Wait as long as possible before drinking or eating anything, and post the reaction on social media with hashtag #OneChipChallenge. Moon, fix the
well, I
hashtag.
guess I think that. Yeah, okay, I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
On the other part of the box, it has another thing.
Uh-huh.
One Chip Challenge 2022. You, a simple being who thinks they can handle the surge of extreme heat. One supercharged demon powered by the most electrifying peppers on Earth. Interesting. What to expect? Made with Carolina Reaper pepper and Scorpion pepper,
Ooh.
high voltage chip was created for the
Ooh.
pleasure of intense heat and pain. 1
Fun.
tongue takeover, 2 shock the senses, 3 surge of tears, 4 jolt to the gut, 5 voltage overload. Okay. Okay. I genuinely fear for my life right now. All right, here's the chip.
Don't worry, you'll be fine.
I don't believe you.
Most of the spicy challenge foods aren't even spicy. Like they
You'll
got
be
spice, but they're not
fine.
that spicy.
I beg to McFucking differ, good sir.
Beg.
Then beg.
Back.
Oh, it's black.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh
like,
no.
get a good
Oh
close
boy.
right
That's
I can
good.
kind of see the
Oh,
blue
that does
dye.
not look good.
And
Ooh.
That
oh god, my hands are shaking.
That
Oh
looks-
shit, here we go.
that's the Eldritch horror color
Oh,
that
yeah.
became my rummaroni.
I have to fucking psych myself up now. This is
Do it, do it, do it, do
You
it, do
got
it,
it,
do it, do
go.
it, do it, do it, do it, do it. You got this. You got this.
Oh. Oh boy, yeah, there it is.
Oh.
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 so the shit has no flavor.
Yeah, no. That doesn't surprise me.
If you'll even be able to taste flavors anymore. My- oh my Christ. You look like you're performing an exorcism on yourself.
Oh, dang. Your tongue is blue. And now
Oh.
you look like you're about to cry, like you've seen the saddest thing and you're trying so hard not to, but no, you're just in pain.
He's like in the process of being possessed by like the thing from the other segment.
Oh,
long was
dang,
that?
you're beating
Oh,
it.
there we go.
Not very long. Not
Honestly,
even a minute.
fair.
How was it, Dalton?
Flavorless.
Oh yeah, hey Moon, could you do me a favor?
What?
Could you check my Twitch channel to make sure it's not streaming to both of them? I don't know if that's possible,
Yeah,
but just
give
in
me a
case.
second. Don't worry, I've got you. You're good. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
cool.
That's really funny.
Did anyone else see like Trace turn into like static for a few seconds, or is the entity getting
No,
to
because
me?
I was busy looking up.
Fair
I was
enough.
busy checking to make sure you were dual streaming somehow. Dalton muted it.
Oh, poor Dalton.
No!
Oh no, Dalton.
Y'all, I want to bring down all kinds of snacks.
Oh.
Hey, Dalton, you want to eat another one?
No, that sounds horrible.
Yum, yum, yum.
Dalton
That
is
explains
literally
the
dying right
or
now.
that I ate. I need to find a picture of that. Where did I put that? Did I Dalton, where did I send the ramaroni?
He's gone.
He like
Dang it.
teleported.
Grace, did you ever see the ramaroni? I
I
might have
did.
sent it.
I remember seeing it. I don't remember where I saw it, but I remember seeing it.
Dang it. Cause I want to put that. I want to put that in the server. I want to put that in the Agony of Moon server. Because oh boy, everyone needs to see the Eldritch Horror colored
yeah.
ramaroni.
Hmm.
Rama Rama Rami.
Oh,
A ramaroni.
Ramaroni.
Rama Rami.
Okay.
He's
What
probably
shall
bald in the bathroom.
what shall we
Probably.
do
I think he's
whilst Dalton
lost.
recovers?
Let's give Dalton a few minutes to
Yeah.
come back.
Worm.
What shall we do in the meantime?
Worm.
Yeah, I don't know your mom.
You know, looking back at this, I think I spelled immortality wrong.
Dalton returns.
Worm.
Yippee!
Yippee.
Okay,
Eh.
go on without me.
Oh,
Oh no!
Okay.
We can't go
Oh,
without
no.
you.
You going to the hospital there, buddy? Anyways.
Oh, well, he
Oh,
died.
he turned his camera off. That's unfortunate.
He's
Pity.
just he died.
I
Oh,
can see
Christ.
your balls.
What?
Your balls, I can see them.
Where did that come
I
from?
can see them.
Let's see if I can find my. Let's see if I can find where I put the ramaroni.
Hmm.
Did I
currently-
ever send you anything about ramaroni?
I'm currently
guess-
stuck on this one screen.
I guess that while you're doing that, I might as well just start going into some of these, right?
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll just say screw it and start off with the top of the list. First off is human immortality.
Ooh.
Now, this is actually
Oh, boy.
somewhat deep into the iceberg itself. If I'm right, it's like somewhere around. Yeah, well, it's pretty deep. It's like tiers 5 to maybe 9 or so. But essentially, it's not technically that the body is immortal, but that the soul itself is immortal and kind of like a reincarnation type thing, where like whenever you die, your soul goes into a new body. But the theory goes that the elites are actually wiping our memories when our soul is out of our body.
Oh boy.
Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna be straightforward with you and say most of these, I don't really, I don't have enough knowledge to say
Most of
whether
these
or
are
not they're true.
bullshit.
Yeah. Very, very few of these things have evidence behind them. Like, for
Mm.
instance, one of them that has evidence behind it and has actually been proven true was that at one point it was a conspiracy theory to think that the deep web or the dark web, that thing that you can only access with things like the Tor browser,
Yeah.
was actually run by the government.
Which it is.
Yes, it is.
It was made by the CIA.
Yep. And then
Why
also,
was it made by the CIA? Actually, does anybody know this?
basically, it was originally so that way they could communicate silently with each other, or so that way they could communicate silently via the internet. And then people found a way onto that and started hosting their own websites on there, and then that kind of spread, and then they were just like, well, people are on here, and some people are doing some illegal stuff on here, so we might as well set out a few honeypots to make sure we can catch those people before they do anything.
And
Yep.
now there's
And-
actual stuff. Did y'all? Okay. It was. I don't know if it was just me, but when I went on to as a middle school, right, and I found the Cannibal Cafe.
Ooh, I haven't actually visited that one yet.
You have
Neither
not?
have I.
Okay.
I've heard of it,
there
though.
was
I'm
a
aware
lot
of it.
There was a lot of women on there, right? And like men, right? They were selling, like, they had like pictures of themselves and said, selling this body part for so and so money.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, So it literally is a cannibal cafe. You can go on.
Oh, yeah.
The menu was just people.
Mm.
Speaking of cannibals,
Oh boy,
this
let's
leads
see
on
where
to
this
another
goes.
theory that in Southeast Asia there's an underground cannibal market where
Ooh.
missing people are sold for food.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, if
Kind
I'm
of
right,
like in there was a thing, right? I
Hmm.
think in Africa
Hmm.
where these people were digging up bodies, like skulls from like bodies and bones from graves, and selling it to the people of the U.S.
Oh.
as like authentic
He returns!
stuff.
Hey.
Are you still dying?
Yep.
Speaking of digging up bodies, that actually brings me on to another
It
actually
was
true
just
topic.
okay.
Oh,
Before I just remember this, they caught the people who were doing it,
mm-mm.
and they're now the organization's gone. I don't remember what happened to the
Uh,
organization, but it happened like 2 years ago.
But yeah,
So it
there
wasn't.
was
It was pretty like not long ago.
fair
hmm.
enough.
Yeah, there's actually another thing that ended up happening where the Smithsonian they found there were some bodies that were there were some ancient skeletons that were recovered, and these were actual skeletons that they destroyed apparently. Like they basically just took them and
Mm.
broke them up into pieces to where they were unrecognizable because at the time they didn't fit into the current idea of evolution. But we can wedge them in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just apparently the eggheads didn't
Mm.
want to put into their liver, put in a bit of elbow grease onto the charts.
Also, I had to turn my camera off because it was screwing up my connection and I couldn't hear anything we all were
Yeah,
saying for the
that's
past
fair.
like 2 minutes.
Mm.
Fair enough.
Okay. Another. Let's see. Going further down the list, here's actually another true
Does
one.
anybody have anything else?
Huh?
Okay.
Here's actually another true one that
Nope.
I already
I was
mentioned
Oh.
before. That the Italian language actually alters your DNA a bit.
Huh.
It makes tiny little changes that really can only be seen if you look at the person's DNA before they start speaking and learning Italian for a long
Oh,
period of
shit.
time and afterwards. I mean, it's not enough to make you a whole new organism, but again,
Hmm.
it is still a change. It's kind of like I compare it to like if you take a picture of a scar one week and then take a picture of it the next week, it's a little bit
Interesting.
smaller or maybe a little bit different in shape.
Is it the same
And
for all languages or just Italian?
it's similar for all languages, and if I'm right,
Uh,
it makes and it depends on the language as well as to what changes.
oh.
So that leads into the theory of why are so many ancient rituals spoken in things like Latin? What if Latin has some special abilities that can only that allow it and it alone and a few others around it to invoke certain abilities in the physical world beyond simply changing one's DNA.
Oh.
Of course, I don't know if
Making
this is actually true, but
making me glad I started learning Latin a while back. I'm still terrible at it, and I need to get better at it, but
I've become terrible at German. Just like
fair enough. I need to get back into learning Latin because that's fun.
and then there's one. This is an interesting game. Uh, it's called Schnell Online. It's like
Oh.
it's basically like it has the visuals of like this weird like Game Boy Advance type game, but it's got an entire economy. You can do
Uh,
just about anything. You can interact with anyone, and you can do anything you want
hmm.
from from selling bread to murder and other illegal activities.
Hmm.
And also, you can pay real world money for it,
Huh.
or you can put real world money into it, and you can take real world money out.
Oh.
So there's a theory that it might also be used for money laundering.
I now want to get this game.
Shit.
What?
Laundry.
Uh,
I just saw
That's really.
oh my goodness.
What?
I don't know, that game
Uh.
is interesting.
Next up is a show called Xavier
Tracy comes
Renegade
to
Angel.
Eldritch Horror for 5 seconds.
This was a show that was on Adult Swim. It was a really weird show, and I actually liked it. The interesting thing is you kind of need a thesaurus to understand half the things they're saying because they just
That's
throw in
funny.
all kinds of crazy stuff into there. And the idea is that it's a psyop. And the theory goes that like it's a weird and depraved show. Like, have any of you seen Mr. Pickles?
Oh
Yes, I
boy,
have.
yes.
It's kind of like that,
I have
but
not.
early age CGI.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like at one point I remember this episode. Okay, at one point a farmer's experiencing drought. And so Xavier comes in and he tries to do a rain dance, but he forgot how to do a rain dance. So he tries to do a dance of remembrance, but he forgot the dance of remembrance. So the farmer just gets pissed and shoots up at the sky trying
my
to hit
God.
God, and somehow he hits God. And then it starts raining blood.
Oh no.
And then they proceed to go to a tampon factory to launch a fuckload of tampons into the sky
Oh my
to staunch the
God.
bleeding. And then it goes into this idea that God's actually a woman and was on her period. Even though it's just some hick who managed to hit the right spot.
That's really funny.
Well, tampon factories have just gotten a good upgrade. Sorry, that's probably out of.
Maybe he just needs a pad. Come on, guys.
Yeah, everybody
Next.
likes tampons.
Tampons ain't cutting it. I
I'm
hate
gonna-
tampons with a
I'm
passion.
gonna skip around a bit, but here's something else.
Yeah.
Interdimensional
Wait.
Bigfoot.
Oh.
What were you
Oh,
saying?
interdimensional Bigfoot. Okay, after
Yeah.
this one, do you want to
Okay.
read the thing?
Oh yes, yeah.
The thing.
Interdimensional
That sounds
Bigfoot is
intriguing.
the theory that cryptids are actually just like things from parallel universes, but they just
Ooh.
periodically flicker into the world.
That's fun. I
That's why
like
we
that
haven't
theory.
found Bigfoot yet, that's why we haven't found Bigfoot again, because he just went back to his reality.
He was like, I'm bored of y'all shit. Let me just leave.
Wait, all right. Let's see here.
Hello there.
Let's pull up.
Hey, welcome back.
Welcome back to
How are you holding up?
Are you ready for another one, Dalton?
No! Flashy, you're so
I just
mean.
saw
This is
I
why
just
it's
saw
so
his
weird.
life flash before his eyes as you said that.
Yeah.
Considering that I just vomited up the first one, yeah, fuck you.
But there's
Oh,
also-
friend of my
There's since we do have some time, I would actually like to go over a couple more.
I'm
of them.
not that rude, Moon.
Yes, you
For
are.
instance,
I'm
here's-
kidding. Don't worry.
here's an interesting theory: demolition elves.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's hear this one.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
Okay.
Before major disasters, or really major infrastructure disasters of like
Mhm.
buildings falling apart and exploding, some
Yeah.
people say that they see tiny little creatures running across running around and running towards the location. And this poses the theory that tiny elves are running to these locations to blow them up.
Oh, that's
That's-
great.
Yes.
Yes.
Funny.
Tiny elves are taking the time
We
out
love
of their
that.
day to go,
Wouldn't that be funny if that thing fell over?
Wouldn't that be funny?
Wouldn't
there's
that
also-
be funny?
And then there's this other thing called the Robert Golf glass camera.
Huh.
Oh boy.
Basically, this guy by the name of Robert Golf, we have no evidence that he exists aside from the tapes of his visions that are in the Vatican. Spoiler. But either way, Robert Golf basically helped out the
spoiler, you
CIA.
say spoiler? Like
Flashy.
it was a show, sorry.
He helped out the CIA. Basically, like, the CIA was trying to figure out, hey, or maybe it was the FBI. I don't know. They were trying to figure out how can we manage to spy on people without them knowing, like without anything being detectable. So, they contacted this Robert Glass guy, erased any evidence of his existence, and they hooked him up to a machine where he would astral project and observe the people that they wanted to spy on. And but then at one point, during one of his astral projections, he was out of his body for too long and he died.
Oh.
But all of this was being recorded. All of his visions were being recorded. So when he died, they saw basically like the screen pan up to the gates of heaven, and they recorded heaven.
Huh.
They stopped the recordings, and the Vatican confiscated the tapes.
Oh.
You want to imagine somebody used that as like a thing of like heaven's real.
Oh my god.
And then there's also stuff like, oh, here we go. Skin is an alien parasite.
Huh.
I mean, skin is pretty weird, but I wouldn't call it an alien parasite.
Skin's kind of funky.
Like this theory goes that whenever at some point early on in our existence, this alien entity attached itself to us, kind of like how the mitochondria was absorbed into a regular animal cell, because the mitochondria has its own DNA, and it integrated with us. Although it doesn't quite make sense, because then it's like, how has it managed to match our DNA perfectly and stuff like that? But yeah,
there's a lot of holes with this story.
Yeah. To be honest, some of these conspiracy theories are actually just ones they threw in specifically for the sake of, well, look at this thing. Who would really believe this? I mean, yeah, sure, we got this thing right, but I mean, look at the alien skin. We're crazy.
That is amazing.
Don't believe
at
us.
the alien skin. Don't believe us. Believe your skin.
And then there's also some interesting ones that kind of put reality into question. Air is a hallucinogen.
Oh boy.
This theory proposes that air is...
If you'd like to find out, hold your breath until you can't breathe anymore.
Necro.
That's alright, chat. That's what I'm
the
telling you.
theory-
No, I'm joking.
No,
I
this
shouldn't
shows-
say that.
no,
I
this
probably
theory
shouldn't
goes-
say
You're
that.
like the
This
puppets in
theory
that
goes
great
deeper.
game where I told you to choke on your own hand.
This theory goes even deeper. That oxygen
No.
is hallucinogenic,
Ooh.
and so
Uh-huh.
it causes you to see the world differently. But then once you take things that would generally be considered hallucinogens, it breaks that hallucination.
Ooh.
So you see the world as it truly is.
Damn, maybe I should see the world as a truth.
Necro. Shut up.
And then there's also stuff
If
like...
you weren't the one streaming this, I would have kicked you.
Bruh.
also stuff
I'm
like
kidding.
water is sentient.
Oh, it's this
Kinky.
one.
Basically, this guy decided to test whether or not water was sentient. And the way that he did this was by measuring the frequency at which it vibrated or something along those lines. And, he took it before and as a baseline. And then after that, he then put it in a room, talked to it gently, and played calming music, and measured its frequency. And it seemed to have changed a bit. And then in the next experiment, he played various loud noises and screamed at the water, and took its vibrate and tested its vibration, and it was different. So he proposed that water is sentient and is reacting to its surroundings.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah.
It might be it might be like
Literally,
little
sound.
it might be like tiny organisms like in the water, like bacteria and stuff that it could be picking up on. But other than that, I have no idea how that could work.
Yeah. And then there's also stuff like I couldn't find this one, but this one was really interesting. But it's a theory about how, how whenever sometimes you might be driving a car or whenever you're like holding something like really valuable, you almost think, for a split second you think, I can just swerve off into oncoming traffic and do some damage, or I could just throw this valuable object onto the ground and smash it into a million pieces. And then it's like, no, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
The theory is that that's your brain kind of checking itself, making sure that everything is all right. And the theory goes, what if you were to remove that? What if you were to remove that check? Someone with basically no conscience. You could have them do anything.
Maybe.
And, you know, with all the MK Ultra stuff, really, you could pretty much make a perfect fighter, essentially. If you teach them how to fight, you can make someone that can, as long as they're strong enough, take on an entire army without a second thought.
Without a second thought, yeah, but they sure would die.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
But hey,
Hey Dalton, how are you holding up?
Yeah,
Or are you just not?
right?
Are you just like gone?
So, my stomach is a tiny bit upset. My eyes are red as hell, though they do not pick up on the camera.
Yeah, no, that definitely doesn't pick up.
I'm definitely burping a lot.
Yeah.
Thinking about going and taking a shower.
Fair enough.
Go get some Pepto-Bismol.
I don't have that.
Go get.
Yeah, he
some
was a broke college student not long ago.
Go get some Pepto-Bismol.
I just now have slightly some money.
Slightly some.
Well,
I still feel like I still have a hint of still you're a bit broke.
Aren't we all?
Just a little bit.
I'll go send you the Pepto-Bismol that I got.
Why am I getting added
making
like
the spicy
everywhere?
chili?
I'm gonna
Because you're a heck.
I'm gonna turn off my camera and microphone real quick. I'll come back.
Okay.
I
All right, back to the theories. Who messed up this time? Necro.
One. What did I do?
Back to the theories.
here's something interesting.
Yeah.
Go
I think it was like something along those lines. Aeromorphic psyops.
on. Ooh.
Now, this is a theory that all those drawings of planes with big bagahoolus.
What?
With big what?
All those like pictures on DeviantArt and stuff like that with planes that have big tits.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand it.
This proposes that those were made by the U.S. government because if people associate planes with hot tits, they might be more okay with going to war.
Oh my Christ.
Why?
Is there a
That's
9/11
so
joke here?
dumb.
I'm not getting.
No, this is either a legit theory or one of the other ones just to screw with the
Oh
feds.
my god. I didn't even know this was a thing until just now.
Necro, you clearly don't look at DeviantArt enough, then.
Then there's also this is almost a rabbit hole in and of itself. The sexual energy rabbit hole, pretty much. Basically, this is a theory that like pretty much libido is an energy in and of itself that could be harnessed and used like as a power source.
Huh.
And that if we hadn't gone down the route of electricity, that we would be using libido power. And in this age, it's being siphoned from us by succubi and porn stars who are actually succubi in disguise.
Oh my god.
Wait, who's
my
sucking
God.
my? I
Porn
came back at
stars.
the worst time.
This is the funniest thing.
Wait, let me just like charge my
yeah.
phone real quick.
Necro, you're terrible.
I am terrible. Thank you for noticing.
I might go get sea salt and vinegar chips.
The moon. I walked into my brother's room. Can I just show you what what I found?
Oh boy.
Maybe.
That was on his desk. Just full on his desk.
What?
That
What?
bottle was full.
What?
Oh,
Look at
boy.
that.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
Uh,
All right. Anyways, back
what
to
happened?
the theories of
I
questionable
would show
taste.
you, but you're on stream.
Yeah, wait, let me. Yeah,
Okay.
keep going.
You know,
We're not showing it on streams.
Yeah.
I think it's about time that we go
Oh.
into this.
Oh.
Where does wastewater go?
Oh yes.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. Wait,
So-
don't start yet. I need to go get to see some vinegar chips and some water.
Okay.
Talk about other theories while you wait for me.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Cigarettes are actually healthy.
Ooh, fun. That
That
endorses many of my habits.
Now the thing is,
Well-
this doesn't mean that cigarettes will help your lungs. No, it's not good for your lungs because really you're breathing in they're not really designed for anything but oxygen or air, which is a hallucinogen.
Trish, I love the way that you talk about these. Is like you are the one that believes them. I don't know why, but you give them vibe. I feel like
That
you
is
believe
true.
It.
He does give
It's
up that
so-
energy.
And so, like, I keep on because you keep on defending them, and that's the reason.
I mean, the thing is that with this one, it's proposing that smoking is healthy for other parts of your body besides your
Huh.
lungs.
No, it's
Like
not.
I think like the liver or something like that. I can't remember.
It's not. I can
don't-
tell y'all this now. It's not.
Oh yeah,
Listen.
definitely not. But who knows?
Oh yeah, here was one that I was going to talk about. Illuminati are the good guys.
Huh.
Think about it. You have this secretive organization, and like the Illuminati, like back in the 1700s, I think it was. Their entire purpose was just pretty much they were an Enlightenment era group dedicated to finding out information.
Oh, we love that.
Now think about it this way. You have this secret society people. Maybe they got into the government to make sure that things don't go wrong. And then you have all these people saying about how they're the orchestrators of the New World Order and all this and that. And they can't step out of the shadows to defend themselves because if they did, their cover would be blown.
Yeah.
So everything we say, so really we might be just be falling into corruption, to the plan of some corrupt.
Mm.
I don't know.
The Pope,
I feel like
the Vatican,
Oh.
they're the real enemy. The Vatican's the real enemy. I mean,
Oh,
I wouldn't be
oh,
surprised,
this-
honestly.
If the Pope
this
was
is-
like the enemy, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
this is an especially good one. From the Time Cube.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
This is a theory that time isn't like a straight line or anything, but it's actually like a cube or a square. Like north, south, east, west, and we're basically
Do
crossing
tell.
through the cube. We aren't time. We're only experiencing like half to a quarter of it.
Hmm.
And there are also entities guarding the four corners of the time cube.
I thought
And
I thought you were about to say corridors, and I don't know why. The four
But,
corridors, and I was like, oh, there's doors now.
but
Doors.
the guardians are as follows. If I'm right, it's Jesus, Socrates, maybe it's Aristotle. Who is it? Albert Einstein and Bill
Okay.
Clinton.
Huh.
I have some confusing thoughts about that.
Jesus, Bill Clinton. Same thing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, I never know how to respond to Trace after these because I feel like he's like defending them, and I don't know how to feel about it.
From his laughter, I'd say no.
He's not, yeah, but it feels like it.
I can't. Oh God. Oh, let me.
All right, whatever turn to.
Crying.
The
What?
time cube.
Oh, please do tell me.
Oh my god.
Okay.
We just talked
So
about
this
it.
theory proposes that
I'm gonna lie down for this.
time is actually like a square, and we are only going through the middle of it. We aren't experiencing the full breadth of time. But the reason why, if we tried to kind of break the path that we've always been going, we'd probably encounter one of the guardians who sit at the four corners of the square.
I don't know why.
And these guardians are Jesus, Socrates, or Aristotle. I get the two mixed up. Albert Einstein and Bill Clinton.
What?
Yep, Bill Clinton.
I had to lie down for the second hearing of that.
You already knew it was gonna happen. You were like, I'm gonna lay down.
I'm trying to eat my Oreos, and y'all talking about Bill Clinton time guardian.
Time guardian. Bill Clinton.
Oh, let's see.
Is this what Republicans think liberals are like? It's a genuine question. Like, is this what they think we're like?
Podcast episode, whatever.
Maybe.
Simulating liberals.
Anyone.
Oh
God, I was just thinking one of those freaking Joker memes. What are you going to do now, liberal?
Oh my god.
But
All right.
here's something else.
Are we ready for wastewater?
Give me a second. I
Yeah.
got a couple more. Here's another one. The Despair Code.
Ooh, what's that?
This is essentially the IRL version of the anti-life equation.
Ooh, what's that?
Basically, basically both of these codes have a similar function where once they are solved or recited to a person, then essentially with the Despair Code, it basically just wipes them.
Oh.
It pretty much just wipes their entire consciousness or something along those lines, and pretty much makes them a perfect vessel for whatever you want.
Huh. So, like, is it like if I give this equation to them, they solve it, or do I just read it out to them and then it makes them blank, or?
Let's see.
And where do I get it?
Hey, no more thinking about a cult.
No. You know that's like one of my main things.
Yeah. No more cult, Necro. You're grounded.
Oh, wait, what?
Necro's grounded.
Like that's gonna stop me.
For fuck's sake, leave me alone.
Necro.
Yeah.
You're grounded. No more cult.
As if that could stop me.
I don't know. I can't figure it out. But
at least you can play along.
The other one that I wanted to say was the theory that soy is being weaponized against humanity.
Soil.
Soy sauce.
Because soy contains estrogen.
Huh.
So therefore, the government is trying to.
Females.
No. It's essentially what the theory proposes is government weaponized soy to create femboys.
Hot. Thank you,
really
government, for once. Thank you.
Necro's first reaction was
I-
hot.
I'm just gonna say screw it and go into where does wastewater go.
Oh boy.
No, let's
Okay.
continue on the femboys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I could probably dig up some more stuff about soy.
Femboys.
Damn, the government's responsible for femboys?
Oh, there's actually also another theory that they're like these cults of people who
Cults?
basically practice. They're like these cults that like believe that, and some say that the elites are part of it. Where like, the belief is that if you eat something and then immediately throw it up, that you gain its power. Basically,
Huh.
it's like bulimics, but it's a religion.
The fuck? That's a wacky.
Yeah.
What?
Totally
But,
don't want to test it or
The
anything.
theory is that
Necro, don't.
the theory is
that.
that since you gain its energy, what's the most energetic thing that you could think of, or what's the most
I have
energetic
obsidian,
thing you
wait.
could think of?
Necro, people
I-
with obsidian.
I know.
I obsidian as well.
I know what I'm eating. I have obsidian.
But the theory is
Necro,
that
if you eat your
if you
obsidian, I would
eat
mine.
if you eat part of a person and then throw it back up immediately after,
Ooh.
you gain their power.
Ooh.
What are you gonna gain?
Their life force or whatever.
Power!
I think it's some kind of a youth. I think it's one of those things where it's like, the elites are trying to make themselves live forever, something like that type thing.
Oh
I
god.
actually wait, guys.
Yeah.
For no joke, right? I met somebody that thought that the politicians and shit use young people, right,
Mhm.
to make
Oh,
themselves
yeah.
look younger. I'm not joking. I met this person.
Skippy,
I
get down.
I actually remember that there was this one horror movie
Get
where
down.
basically like
Down.
it was this weird it was like this weird little lab in the middle of Russia. They only figured out it was Russian at the end of the movie. But basically these girls who were like basically like, from a young age raised in this facility, and as they grow older they move up the levels, and they're taught, they're basically they the way that they teach them, they make it out like, oh, they're being taught to be like housemaids or something like that. But in reality, what's happening is that the girls, like, pretty much they got, what they're basically being raised so that way some rich old
Oh, are
lady
you
can
talking
come
about
in.
level 16?
Yes, level 16. Yeah,
I like how I
so that
knew
way,
exactly what you were talking about when
Yeah,
you
so
said
that
rich
way-
people.
so that way some rich old lady can just say, that lady looks a lot like me whenever I was in my younger years.
boy.
And then she can just, have them sedated, have her sedated, and do a face transplant.
Oh. That's like, what's it called?
Face
It's
swap?
no. It's close to what the fuck is it? The one movie where they like transferred their brains into people.
I can't remember that actually.
I think was it Get Out?
No, that was the one where like where it was like some people like transferring minds, and like it was a kind of transfer mind thing, but it was like specifically like white people transferring their minds into black people.
Yeah.
But I do remember one other one where it
Wait,
was like
what was transferring what?
They were
Get Out.
they were transferring
never
like their
Oh,
brains. Oh.
Why would a
Oh,
white person
oh,
want to use a
rip.
black person? Because like that's just
I
like
don't
taking
know.
away your own rights.
I think it's some kind of a thing where it's like they seek where it's like the white supremacists secretly envy black people or something like that, and the reason why they put them down is because they want to be them type thing. I don't know.
I
It's
have
some
no
weird
idea.
mental gymnastics.
Yay,
I
Hello?
don't quite understand.
Yay! You're back.
How are right, Dalton. You came in the worst time, huh?
Yeah, last I remember we were talking about was face transplants. Smile.
Yeah. You want to go into where does wastewater come from? Or where does wastewater go?
Yes!
Sure.
Okay.
Yes!
Oh boy.
So, you want to know where wastewater goes after you're done using it? Good choice. These days, wastewater consumption is a mysterious issue. As a water drinking person, it's your job to know where the water goes, what it does, and what its whole deal is. And finally, what all of this means for you in the long run. With that out of the way, let's get started on our magical journey through the water cycle, or as we like to call it, the aquatic version of Kafka's Metamorphosis. The first stop on our journey through the desolate and unknown reaches of public utilities is, of course, the notoriously underwhelming city of Tulsa, where all things theoretically begin. In Tulsa, 450,000 gallons of wastewater are pumped out by the minute. If you were standing next to this hypothetical river that contained all the wastewater in Tulsa, you would be looking at a lot of clogs, a lot of Mr. Plumber, golf balls that got lost in streams of mini golf courses, and of course, an infinite supply of sewage. Before we move on to the next step, here's a fun thought experiment. Do you need to urinate or defecate? Sure you do. We all do. As living organisms, we're driven by a constant, insatiable desire to consume and excrete in an endless loop until we die. Without this process, there will be no wastewater, no landfills, no pollution. Remember that grueling 9 to 5 shift of the average water treatment plant worker the next time you decide to chug down a big gulp at your local 7-Eleven. For every big gulp you guzzle down, he has to sift through your urine and pull out the kidney stones. For a double gulp, there could be twice as many kidney stones. If you have a kidney infection, you'll have to filter all the blood too. Imagine that.
Imagine your life having to filter out blood.
You reading this just sounds like an ad from like a dystopian future.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets interesting.
You understand what I mean about him like believing in this shit now?
No, I got that energy from the start, but then him laughing about it afterwards makes me realize that he doesn't actually.
Yeah. It's just like the way that they talk about it. Like,
yeah.
You believe in this shit?
On our next stop on the rainbow road of legislation and dead fish is the Keystone Pipeline, the metaphorical continuation of the hypothetical Tulsa River from earlier. Keep in mind that aquatic specialists and health experts think in abstract terms. The Keystone Pipeline, which only benefits the U.S. economy despite disrupting Canadian ecology, filters out valuable materials from the wastewater and delivers them directly into the famed golden hoard of Goldman Sachs. These valuable materials include dilbit, a derivative of dilber, and microplastics, which are used in popular consumer electronics such as the Game Boy 2.0. Now, with twice the capacity and 4 times the resolution, the Game Boy 2.0 truly is next-level technology. Connecting the Keystone Pipeline to the crematory is the Keystone Pipeline Jr., a proposed offspring of the Keystone Pipeline and the Exxon Valdez. While breeding is in its early phases, the Keystone Pipeline Jr. could be a more appealing variety for the general public with youthful charm and exuberant naivete. If you were a small microplastic riding the ferocious and unpredictable waves of the Keystone Pipeline, you'd be surrounded by a nihilistic emptiness the likes of which no living organism has ever known. You would feel nameless. You would feel faceless, nameless, a cog in the machine. You would be swept effortlessly through dark corridors entirely against your will, sucked and pushed around a labyrinth of confusing facilities until you end up in the fuel tank of an Edicel.
Why is our POV like a microplastic?
Make you feel bad about taking away your microplastics from your organisms, whatever the fuck.
Come on, give me my microplastics back. Sheesh.
Oh my god.
To counteract this soul-crushing monotony, the Keystone Pipeline regularly plays soft music through the loudspeakers overhead to reassure the microplastics and dilbits that while they might soon be burned in a combustion engine to produce momentum, they can at least enjoy Barry Manilow's top 10
Oh
top 10 hits on repeat.
This is actually real. What the
No, this is not. This is
What
just
is
part
this?
of an ARG.
Oh, okay.
It's just a funny part of the spooky parts.
Ooh.
How does the crematory factor into this equation? Nobody knows for sure. The last time the EPA issued a subpoena, they cremated him.
Oh.
If you thought this process was finished, you'd be a clueless idiot, because the
Oh
fun
my
just
God.
keeps on coming. Bohemian Grove, a facility
Oh
with
my
lavish
God.
parties and inexperienced workforce, as featured in the film Fast Times at Bohemian Grove, produces at least 10,000 gallons of urine and cheap soap annually, providing an essential part in the wastewater equation. The official flag of Bohemian Grove, displayed proudly atop Bohemian Grove's roof, is nearly identical to the American flag, save one. There are no stars on it, representing Bohemian Grove's mission statement to disband all 50 states and turn them into a cost-effective Walmart.
What?
The urine and cheap soap leaves Bohemian Grove through the school to prison. Fuck's sake, I can't even read that without laughing. Leaves Bohemian Grove through the school to prison pipeline. While passing through the prisons and schools, the school to prison pipeline is filled with more useful components of the wastewater formula. Cigarettes, saliva, expired milk, used condoms, and of course, the secret sauce. Without these, the wastewater would be classified as want water.
Oh my God.
Upon completion of this route, the wastewater exits the school to prison pipeline and enters the Keystone pipeline. From here, the water is disbanded and strip searched and promptly sent to the water treatment plant.
Wait, they said strip search?
Yes, disbanded and strip searched before being sent to the water treatment plant. From here, the number and length of pipes is limited, and the esoteric structures to which the water remains for hours on end are numerous. The water treatment plant is the DMV of the water cycle.
The DMV.
Oh boy.
Once the water has been reminded of its place in the grand scheme of things and assigned a caste, it passes through an elaborate filter of uncoiled DNA, which is easier for liquids to pass through due to its uncoiled shape and flat disposition.
You should stream this so we can see like the.
Oh, of course.
Here we go, Necro. Now you can.
We always forget to do that.
Yeah, I really do. Here's the initial thing.
Oh, that was the wrong one. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Where does wastewater go? Who knows?
Yep, here's
Tulsa,
the
House of Pain.
Oh my God.
Keystone Pipeline. Conjunction Junction. No.
Conjunction
Keystone Pipeline Junior.
Bohemian Grove, school to prison
Bohemian
pipeline.
Grove.
Junction.
Uncoiled DNA.
What's the water? Let's see. The uncoiled DNA is 100% organic, though for legal reasons we can't mention what living organisms it's harvested.
Oh my God.
To imagine the process of what DNA filtration looks like, imagine a water slide blockaded by a ladder halfway down. Now imagine that Rock Hudson is standing at the top of the water slide, hurling Nintendo consoles down the water slide.
What is with them in Nintendo consoles?
What?
What is with them in Nintendo consoles? What did Nintendo do to them?
I don't know.
No clue. Not a clue.
If it weren't for the ladders, which allow the water to pass through, but not the Nintendo consoles, the Nintendo consoles could hit someone in the wave pool on the head, in which case the water park could get sued. Luckily, the ladders prevent this. Hopefully this visual aid helps you imagine how useful uncoiled DNA could be in our process. The uncoiled DNA can become gunked up every so often, so in which case, one of our laboratory technicians comes through and ungunks it with a toothpick. If you want a good idea of how this process looks, watch one of the Slim Jim commercials where a man in a Slim Jim costume wreaks havoc on a digestive system. If you watch our ungunking process up close, havoc will be wreaked upon your digestive system. And now, the least smelly part, the odor shield. At this point, the water is 90% free of debris and filth, though it can still smell yucky. To counteract this putrid stench, the water goes through a protective odor shield. The odor shield uses the same techniques as consumer-grade antiperspirant, though it contains no antiperspirant. If you're wondering how that works, imagine a hammer. Then imagine hitting yourself on the hammer, because you're clearly not paying enough attention. If you didn't want to learn, you shouldn't have clicked here.
Oh my god. This gives me the same energy as how it's actually made.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
The odor shield was infamously protested by obscure R&B duo Otto and Cherokee, who stood outside the water treatment facility for hours on end chanting slogans such as "Down with the water shield" and "The water shield perpetuates gender stereotypes."
Oh my god.
You may have heard some bad things about the odor shield in your newspapers, on your TV screens, or on the grapevine. Don't worry, the odor shield is absolutely safe. For proof it's safe, consider this. If it wasn't safe, stupid Discord notifications. If it wasn't safe, we probably wouldn't use it. There you go. Definitive proof that nothing is wrong with the odor shield. For further information on the odor shield, you can visit your local water treatment plant for a guided tour where they'll show you everything except the odor shield. Once the water is spent at least 24 hours in the odor shield, it becomes gray water and enters its My Chemical Romance phase. You probably know gray water is the water that fills the toilet tank when you flush it. But did you know that gray water has made numerous appearances on daytime talk shows such as Ellen and the Doctors? Did you?
No.
Randy's Donut is the next stop for the gray water. It's located underneath the odor shield, and the gray water falls into it whether it wants to or not. I know exactly what you're thinking. Isn't there a restaurant called Randy's Donut in Tulsa? That's right. Things really have come full circle, just like a donut. In 1956, at the University of Tulsa, the mechanism we now call Randy's Donut was discovered by Raymond Sims III. Fun fact, rumor at the time states that he was a closeted homosexual. Thanks, Raymond, for your discovery. Without it, who knows what little nasties could still be swimming around in our taps. The donut is constructed
I thought they were going to say, thanks, Raymond, for being gay.
I mean, I do kind of get the vibe that Randy's Donut is an allegory for a condom, but whatever.
Yeah, I think it is.
Fair
It
enough.
might be. That'd be really funny if it is.
Just the term Randy's Donut makes me think of a condom.
Fair enough.
It's like friggin' Jimmy Caps or whatever it is, Jimmy Caps. The donut is constructed so that all the gray in the gray water settles onto the edge and all the pure watery goodness collectivizes in the center. Randy's Donut works a lot like your grandmother's washing machine, and it's too big, doesn't operate at peak efficiency, and it's been siphoning obscene amounts of energy since 1982. On the exterior of Randy's Donut is well-known mathematician William Thurston's wet dream. Nobody knows how or why it got there, though some of the water treatment community believe it's due to the geometric perfection of the donut and the manner in which its smooth curves ebb off into the distance while it spins. This
Why
hypothesis
does
was
that sound like a romance novel?
It kind of does, actually.
Yeah, you hear it now, don't you?
Oh,
This hypothesis was strengthened in 2001 when a group of mathematicians visited the Des Moines plant and went comatose. Since then, signs have been placed at 360-degree angles around Randy's Donut to ward off the numerically or geometrically inclined. Next up is the Parahans-Banal trapezoids. God, I hope I said that right.
How long does this go on for?
Wherever.
I think this is like 5 of 13.
I'm gonna go lay down.
Don't go anywhere, because
I'm
if you
listening
don't read the rest
still.
of
I'm
this,
still-
you
I'm
won't
still
know what
listening.
happens to the rest of your water,
I'm
and
still
nobody would want to
listening.
know what happened,
I'm-
and nobody wouldn't want to know what happens to the rest of their water.
I'm
Next
right
there's a
here.
business on the
I'm
highway
right
how
here,
the
okay.
Parahans would all travel.
I'm right here,
It's
okay.
constructed.
I'm here. I can still hear you. I still have my headphones on. I'm just lying down because I cannot sit up for this.
These durable structures were built by the military-industrial complex through an unprecedented joint venture between the military and industry. They hold lots of gallons each and are filled with small teams of oceanic researchers who use the trapehenroids as miniature simulations of early Cambrian ecosystems. The offices surrounding the trapehenroids are full of people who would rather be doing something else. Learning to conquer badminton, sipping a mojito in the shade, even filling out 1040 forms. We don't know why these people are in such a sour mood. Perhaps it's because the trapehenroids, unlike other structures, make a depressing noise as their contents slosh around. Also, in addition, the trapehenroid chamber has bad lighting. These annoying working conditions have been the basis for many treatment plant inside jokes, during which the workers whose offices are situated on the border of the trapehenroids are often described as weak and pathetic. The water is given a rough time in this stage, while before the water may have retained even a slight hint of optimism concerning its future. Here, the water has been reduced to an empty husk of its former self, barely possessing the strength or will to continue. The water at the end of the process is not the same as the water it was before the process. And now, unlike Randy's donut, nobody knows where Shane Dawson's haircut got its name. And nobody really wants to know. Like the Walderveld pyramid, Shane Dawson's haircut remains a cryptic enigma.
Oh my god.
Smooth skin.
What?
Just turned into a freaking ghoul for a moment there.
Yeah, sure did.
What the fuck is even going on at this point?
And it's a cryptic enigma, and perhaps it's best left that way. What we do know is that it's roughly the same shape and size as the donut, with less appealing structure and more pituitary glands. His behavior is yet to be determined. Shane Dawson's haircut is interesting because only half the water in the plant is filtered through it. Water that isn't filtered through Shane Dawson's haircut is used in alcoholic beverages at many bars during a period known as happy hour. Water that goes through Shane Dawson's haircut will be utilized in beverages during cheap mockeries of happy hour at family-friendly establishments such as Chili's or Applebee's. These callous farces, which consist mainly of non-alcoholic juice drinks or carbonated sodas, are usually just called something called a thirsty hour or drink time to distinguish themselves from their authentic alcoholic counterpart.
Whoa.
Don't be fooled. Know your enemy.
Whoa, alcohol.
You might notice that unlike the donut, which has a small, thick black thingy on the outside, Shane Dawson's haircut instead has a thin line through its middle. Both have a stick in the center. This does not affect the functionality of either apparatus. It's just an interesting externality. At this point, the water will ask to be excused. Of all the equipment used to make your water safe, the temporal paradox is most beloved. You may have heard that your tap water contains a small amount of dinosaur urine, or could potentially contain a small amount of dinosaur urine, or some factoid along those lines. This tidbit was conceived in 1998 by the National Water Board. At the time, water was being outmarketed and outsold by Surge Cola, which was bodaciously red and had a mean streak of attitude. To counteract this, the Water Board, the Water Board determined that they should appeal to the youth by adding non-lethal doses of dinosaur urine to the filtration process. This was difficult as dinosaurs were long dead. Fortunately, Raymond Sims III's grandson, Raymond Sims V, stepped up to the plate and created the temporal paradox, which is now a necessity and a mainstay in every filtration facility worth its salt. With the press of a button, a team of logistics experts can be transported back to dinosaur times, where they overdose the dinosaurs on lethal servings of Surge Cola and collect the copious amounts of posthumous urine that result. The mesmerizing pattern on the left represents the dangerous and exhilarating journey of the logistics experts in a long-forgotten period when mammals were but a puny and helpless class of creature, and the lizard kings ruled all. while the bland monotone box to the right represents the vat where the dinosaur urine is added to the water. Don't worry, most of it's surge cola, so the probability of it containing any deadly prehistoric strain is slim. The ratio of dinosaur urine to water is roughly 3 parts dinosaur urine for every 3 million parts water. For this reason, and for several other reasons, the practice of adding dinosaur urine to water is often termed paleohomeopathy. And that's it. The water gets shoved into a gargantuan whirlpool off the coast of Normandy, Maelstrom, and lands in the river Styx, at which point it's as fresh and clean as a rump. This frothing abomination ensures that the water is thoroughly aerated and mixed. A process is entirely similar to the process that occurs naturally without human intervention, although this process contains human intervention. Once the water arrives at your tap, or the tap at your local 7-Eleven, it's time to drink water, or drink a big gulp. No matter what choice you make, your bladder will be begging for you to release within about 2 hours, at which point the whole process starts over again. Pretty cool, huh? Despite the apparent simplicity of the water filtration process, you might be wondering what happens with all those, with all the debris we filter out of the water. And that's where our patented interactive experience, You Can't Hide From Yourself Forever, comes in. Much like a drunkard's intervention, You Can't Hide From Yourself Forever is a morbid shrine composed of 4 small funeral candles arranged side by side. Once the debris sees a grotesque reminder of authenticity, it is determined to do the best in helping humanity out. Some bleeding heart organizations have denounced the practice, stating that while water can be ethically traumatized, debris is a higher living organism, and that our interactive shrine could do irreparable damage to its mental health. To this argument, we make the claim that if debris wasn't reminded of its inferiority, it might rebel, unleashing its awesome wrath upon civilization. Given the horrors that our technicians have witnessed in the pools over the years, seeping and spreading, it's a wonder that debris hasn't overtaken us already. In many ways, You Can't Hide From Yourself Forever is a necessary evil, like a scared straight program. It reminds the debris of its own nature and reinforces the idea of compliance and servitude. After the conveyor belt passes the testament to man's reign, the debris is loaded off on the belt and heaped into large scoops into a cold and sterile prison bucket, where it spends the night and thinks it over. In 2005, we partnered with Duracell batteries to create
I nearly had a fucking heart attack just now, because like we were talking about like conspiracy theories and shit. And I just get like a government like message to my phone. I'm like,
oh shit.
It was something about like some energy. I'm not 18. I can't pay energy bills. Fuck off. That's not for me. I'm gonna lay down again.
In 2005, we partnered with Duracell batteries to create Duracell Next Generation. Despite the name, it's not a battery available for home use. Rather, it's a battery-powered apparatus in the back door of every treatment plant. The debris is loaded into the battery-shaped barrel, where it's crushed into fine little bits. The apparatus requires 5,000 AA batteries to run, but due to Duracell's famous long-lasting power, we only need to stock the apparatus up with new batteries every day or so. While nobody ever sees this apparatus up close during guided tours, Duracell has assured us that it is great for PR and brand recognition. Once the debris is transformed into thin and tasteless junk, it's casually arranged in the back of a Taco Hut truck. The Taco Hut trucks supply every location nationwide. So next time you're eating a delicious Guatemala or guacamole chalupa and you spill a bit of salsa on your automotive bib, remember that the ground beef in that chalupa is at least 70% debris from a water treatment facility. Talk about environmental sustainability. The final element in the treatment process that we feel is worth mentioning is Steve Aoki's investment pool, which functions as a power source for the entire plant, except for the aforementioned Duracell Next Generation machinery. Steve Aoki's investment pool comes with fully comes fully equipped with an endless amount of money, which we estimate will be able to process water for at least another century or so before we run out of funds. Seaworth is very generous with his assets, and as such,
Sounds very infinite then, huh?
hey, it's just how much water we've been producing. Steve has been very generous with his assets, and as such, he's been awarded the Water Hero Badge at the annual Wet and Wild Water Harvesters Conference in 2003. And there you have it. That's pretty much everything you'll ever know about, or that's everything you ever need to know about how your water gets to where you drink.
I feel like this entire speech is more of a fucking cognito hazard than the other thing.
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten to the cognito hazard. I forgot about
I
that.
can't wait for that. There's
There's a lot involved every time you turn on the faucet, from infrastructure to employment to innovation. So you better thank the water gods. If anything you read here today worried you, don't worry. Nobody likes a worry wart. And you probably don't have any idea what you're talking about. The next time you attend a Skrillex bash, be sure to bring up these fascinating realities. Few people today know the lost art of water making. And that's a shame, considering everyone drinks water, even the vegans. In a world of division and social hierarchy, remember that everyone drinks water. So reach across the aisle with water, and use water as leverage when bribing senators. Water is life-giving water. Boy, all this talk about water sure made me thirsty.
Why was this necessary again?
Copyright 2009, Daryl and the Troglodytes.
Oh my Christ, it keeps going!
That's it.
I have returned.
At a perfect time! You saved yourself! You have saved yourself!
No, first of all, he already read this to me earlier.
Oh
Second
my
of all,
Christ.
I hear it through my walls, so it's not exactly.
Why was this necessary again?
It's another one of the weird
We're in a
ass conspiracy theories.
Okay.
But what was that?
Now,
That was...
Give me a sec. I'm gonna end the screen
What
share.
even was that? I don't even know what I heard. That made me feel more fucking... Actually, I can't say.
Speaking of the things that Necro is feeling right now, I'm gonna have to smoke a bowl before I go to bed. That chip fucked me up. Like, most of the pain is now just in my stomach, but like when I was taking a shower, I was trying to take like one of my normal showers, like a good like hot shower. Bad idea. That one was violent. Like I was eating chips.
No.
I was eating chips before we started the stream. Before I did that chip, and that shower brought them all back up, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. That was
friend
that was painful. If you were wondering why I was gone for so long, I had to take a shower, and then I had to vomit, and then I had to take another shower. So that's great.
Okay, right now we're going to be getting into the cognito hazard section.
Oh, I love that.
Oh boy, okay, let's go.
Finally.
And I will share my screen. Now, this is the cognito hazard.
Alright.
Viewing the image, or really actually, if I'm right, actually saying the phrase of this, essentially invokes some kind of demon. Or
Time to do both of them!
Virus. That can end up causing you to suffer from hallucinations that potentially end up in your ultimate untimely demise brought upon you by yourself.
Maybe I'll just read it to people I dislike.
Let's back up for a moment. Why don't we explain the definition of cognito hazard before we get into this? Just so.
Yeah, please do.
I love how we're taking a cognito hazard and streaming it live.
I'm the token Dumby boy. I don't know anything. Smile.
Oh,
I genuinely don't know. Tell me about it.
I love cognito hazards.
Essentially, a cognito hazard is any kind of information that can be harmful to a person who knows it.
Interesting.
It's kind of like... Okay. Have you ever heard of the game?
Oh, yes.
No.
Well, now you failed the game and we failed the game. Thanks. Have you ever heard of? Do you know what else is a cognito hazard? I forgot the first half of the name. It's like something's basilisk.
Roko's basilisk.
Yes.
The theory that by not helping, that there will be an AI in the future that determines whether or not we helped it out in in creating it, or whether or not we support its existence if it does come into existence during our lifespan. And if we did not, then it
Wasn't
will
this the thing that we talked
eternally
about
punish
last?
us.
We talked about this last week, and that was what made us want to do this subject. It was like
Oh.
Yeah.
we were talking about all the gaming news, and we brought up like I think I was talking about God of War Ragnarok, and I was like,
Oh.
Odin trying to stop Ragnarok eventually causes Ragnarok, and then you brought up that.
Oh.
Yeah. And the thing is that the AI knows that through fear, that if it that because you fear the potential torture that you might suffer by not helping create it, you try to help create it.
Jesus Christ! All right, let's get into the cognito hazard.
Yeah.
So this actually involves chakras as well.
Ooh, I love chakras.
All right, share your screen. Here we go.
Bro. Oh wait, I can't
Image
show you.
will be
No,
displayed
yes,
in
is this a good
3,
PNG for
2,
a new PNG for me?
1.
Huh?
I was making myself a new PNG.
1.
But you're streaming.
Solar plexus
Oh, wow.
clown gliders.
Well, now it's on the internet. It's on
Yep.
the stream, and now everyone else watching this is as fucked as we are.
Although it only goes after you if you're weak. That's the
Oh.
kicker. It enters. I have no idea where the solar plexus chakra is, but either way, it enters you through there.
Okay.
What?
So, this
What
might.
does that mean?
All right. I might be connecting dots where there shouldn't be, but like, isn't you don't recognize the bodies in the water? Doesn't that also kind of classify as a cognito hazard, or no?
Yes, because you can also make sure once you see the body.
If you've seen it, then
Yeah.
yes, it is a cognito hazard.
Interesting.
Can't you convince yourself that you don't see somebody though?
Like you can, but like
It's
your mind
shit,
still
man.
acknowledges your mind still acknowledges if you recognize something. So it's
And it draws you towards it as well. Like, you lose like complete control of yourself. You just begin to walk into the water.
Yeah, because you're trying to save them. My
Sometimes.
question is, well, yeah, if you go willingly, you're literally trying to save your friends that are in the water. You know.
you mean your friends that are not in the water because you don't
Mhm.
recognize the bodies that are in
Yeah,
the water.
you don't recognize the bodies in the water, Persia.
You know what I mean.
We don't know what you mean because you don't recognize the bodies in the water.
Ah.
Yeah.
Flesh is about to get us both killed.
Yeah, the phenomenon
Your
was
friend
that
that's not in there, okay.
this,
The body
this
that's
is,
not really your friend but looks like your friend. You try to go save.
Fleshy, shut up.
and this is actually interesting because this comes back. This is back from the 90s, pretty much, when like there was a chain email with this thing. Yep.
Look at him. He's wearing a little crown.
His little crown.
Do y'all see
Yeah.
it?
Look, come
He's
smile.
got his little crown. He's
Only
smiling.
the
He's
three of
happy.
you.
He's happy with his little crown. Look at his smile.
Wait.
Only the three of you.
Oh,
He has
he's got a
a little
little
crown. He's so
crown.
happy.
He's so happy.
All right, let Trace continue speaking for the love of fuck.
You see this?
Glitches in reality.
Ooh.
I can see your balls.
What? Where does that come from?
It came from Fleshy, Necro. Keep up.
I know that much, but why did they say it again?
Okay. It's in chat. Moon put it in chat a while
I
ago.
can't
Every time I
check
see it-
Yeah, I
chat.
put it in chat like
Oh, that
yeah,
one.
like 20
And every
minutes.
time. So here's the funny thing is, every time I see something like that's funny, I read it out loud, and I don't notice it. So I was wondering what you were talking about for a second.
I see.
Yes, Moon.
You're just a little bit dumpy.
And I can see your balls.
Nice. Take a good look at him.
I have been through the worst pain of my life in the past hour. I am no longer above murder.
In fact, you're below it now.
What? What does that even mean?
Dalton's the bottom to murder.
The one chip challenge is my Joker arc.
Oh my god.
Is the more that I'm looking into this, the more
Okay.
interesting it is.
It's a
Yeah.
Cognito has it, of course it's interesting.
Because the thing
I
about
think
it is
was a
that
bad idea
one
to get more
one
drink.
one theory is that it exists solely to spread human suffering.
Kinky.
Like the one chip challenge.
Micro.
It is suffering.
Bro, the
Suffering.
one chip is just not safe for life.
Not safe for life.
Not
Very
safe
true.
for work, haha. Not safe for life. Isn't there a Reddit community called Not Safe for Life?
Yes.
Yeah, there is.
It's-
What is
it's
it
not-
for,
it's
though? I
not-
can't remember.
I don't think it's a community. I think it's just a thing that gets used on the 50/50 subreddit a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
sounds about right.
That and
Let's see.
slash what the fuck is it called?
Here's
Left.
something
Oh, that
interesting.
one.
Have any of you heard of the bridge where anytime that someone brings a dog, it immediately just jumps off?
What?
Yeah, I've heard about that one
Yeah.
actually.
Happened?
I have
What's
not.
that?
There's a bridge. I don't remember where it is, but either way, if someone is bringing their dog, or if any dog walks across the bridge, the dog just seems to have this urge to just leap over the railing and jump off into the water, and usually it dies. Even if it survives and crawls back and manages to get back up onto the embankment.
Jumps off again?
Yes.
Oh my Christ, what?
And I mean,
I
one theory.
remember something. It was either about like something they might be hearing or like
Yeah.
something they could smell being the reasoning for this, but I do not remember for sure.
I mean,
Probably
like-
hearing.
I know, it's
Honestly,
just
probably
very-
they're hearing pups.
They might be hearing something, yeah.
I mean, I remember one theory was that there was like a bunch of minks or something like that. Like there might have been a mink nest or something. Like
Even
minks are
then-
basically like ferrets.
But to convince it to jump off and multiple times, what the fuck?
Yeah, the multiple time thing is like the most confusing thing
That's
about it.
the kicker,
Because
like,
other
what
things
is
like
it?
that can be explained by like, well, maybe it's heard
Yeah.
something weird or like
But obviously, if it does like multiple times, then it knows it's gonna fucking die if it continues.
It's like I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna
It's-
get that nest. Fuck
Yeah, it's
you.
like even if you save your pups, like even if you save your even if you think you're trying to save like your pups, which in that case, like really, why would one dog maybe care about another dog's pups? Heck, some of the time they just
Kill it.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, no, they wouldn't really be worried about
So
another dog's
what
butt.
is it? What
the
is it?
theory
that's,
is that it's
cool?
like some kind of there's like some kind of a ghost there or something like that just wants the dogs
Well, of course.
to die. Just
That's
the ghost
scary.
is some sadistic bastard.
Maybe it's like, hey,
Wait,
either
remember
you
what the
off
bridge is
yourself
called, 'cause I'm
right
gonna
now,
look this up.
or we kill your owner. And that's what it tells the dogs.
Yeah, here, let me see.
Who knows?
So
Oh, I
this
found
has
it.
this has entirely nothing to do with the current conspiracy theory we're going over.
Mm.
But I have the feeling that this happening is going to spawn a conspiracy theory. And I would
Oh.
just like to point it out. So did y'all hear about the trend on? It was either TikTok or something else. It was a trend, but it was the NyQuil chicken.
Why
Oh,
does
I
that
remember
sound
seeing
familiar?
that.
Basically, somebody pan fried 2 chicken breasts in a fucking pan full of NyQuil, and now the FDA has released an official warning. The American Food and Drug Administration has released an official warning against cooking your chicken in NyQuil.
Oh, I
And
don't doubt.
And I have the feeling that somebody's about to launch a fucking conspiracy theory based on that.
Oh,
What's NyQuil
I don't
again?
doubt that. I don't doubt that that would be bad for
Sleepy
you
sleepy
because, like,
juice.
just think about, just
Oh.
think,
Sickness.
just think about it. Like, just think about putting, just think about putting medicine in a freaking frying pan. Like, imagine basically boiling medicine.
I mean, shit, that's a lot of Chinese recipes, but that's besides the point.
I found the
Well,
bridge.
that
The
medicine's
bridge.
like herbal. Yeah, it's the Overton Bridge, right?
Yeah, that's that one.
Why would they upload
In
that?
in
There
in
is something
Dumbarton,
saying that
Scotland.
it's because of the scent of mint, pine martens, and other animals agitated the dogs. So that's what that is saying. There's a lot of different things being said, honestly.
Hmm.
I can't even lie. I would take the NyQuil chicken over that fucking chip. That was,
What did the NyQuil chicken even do?
I don't know what the NyQuil chicken does. All I know is that the FDA released an official warning about the NyQuil chicken.
What did they say about it? Like, don't do it
I
or
mean-
we'll arrest you? Or...
They have
I'm
none
gonna,
of that
I'm
power.
gonna look it up because now I am actually curious.
Oh, you know, I actually remembered.
Are they trying
one
to
conspiracy.
keep us from eating NyQuil chicken?
Probably
Let's do it
There's
outside.
actually a theory that people with like severe mental disorders, like the debilitating types, if I'm right, actually are like higher functioning.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
higher
there's
functioning
a thing
beings
of like
and-
where ADHD people were better at being hunters and gatherers.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking like stuff that's like, I'm talking about the stuff that's like, yeah, that would actually make sense, but also, I think it also extends to stuff like severe schizophrenia, things like that,
Huh.
like things that can cause issues in normal life. Are like the theory is that like they're actually almost like evolved humans that are just superior, and that the elites are trying to keep them down or something like that.
I
I
hope
looked-
that schizophrenia people are not, because that sucks to be. Imagine
Yeah.
that's what we evolve into.
I looked,
Seeing things that make us go crazy.
I looked at the
I
FDA
mean-
warning. So apparently, cooking medicine such as NyQuil can apparently increase the potency of it.
Ooh,
Oh,
good to
boy.
know.
Shut the fuck up, Necro.
So,
When they were
NyQuil
cooking
drugs.
the chicken in the NyQuil,
Yeah.
what it does is A, it infuses the NyQuil into the chicken, but B, it increases the potency of the NyQuil. So if you were to ever eat that, because of the increased potency, you could overdose yourself on NyQuil even if you ate like a little bit of a piece.
Oh.
oh
Don't
dang.
cook the whole thing in NyQuil. Do like a little dip.
Oh.
So you're saying to cook the meth so that way I get more bang for my buck.
Oh my god.
I mean, you
And
have to
God
cook
damn
meth
it,
in order
all
to
of
make
you.
it anyway, so like...
Yeah, but like boiling the stuff.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, what you gotta do is you gotta get you a sous vide machine. You have to vacuum
Oh my
seal the
God.
meth inside
I
of
hate
the
all of these
inside
so
of the
much.
membrane. You gotta throw the bags in and just let it cook for like an hour on like 150, and then you'll make super meth. And then you
Superman.
All of you are terrible people.
We're
getting-
great.
I never
We're
said I was a
getting
good
banned.
Oh
person.
yeah.
Here's
We're
an
getting
interesting
No,
theory.
Plesty, we
Yeah,
don't
we're
know you,
probably
Word.
getting banned.
Here's an interesting theory.
Oh, God.
That's on the list. This is a theory revolving around
Okay.
JFK.
Okay,
Shut up,
sorry.
Plushie.
Fleshy.
Oh.
You can go after. Trace was talking first.
But this is a theory revolving around JFK. That JFK
Huh?
was basically extremely stressed about the presidency. That with the Cold War brewing and all that, he just couldn't take it. And so He orchestrated the whole thing. He orchestrated his own death.
I could see that.
Somebody shoot me.
What? Why?
I said that's what he said.
Oh.
You know, and he basically just took on the position of better to go out like this than just stepping down from the presidency, especially during these times.
I mean, I can kind of see that, honestly.
Yeah. But
Fair enough.
also, it is kind of.
It's just like, all right, the pressure's getting too much. I have to find a way. We need to get a guy, but his name has to be just dumb enough to where people don't think that I hired him. Oswald.
Oswald Colbert.
But it can't be his first name, because the first name Oswald is too stupid. So,
Oh my god.
please. Now his middle name's got to be something strong.
Harvey.
Harvey, that's the one. Harvey.
Oh my god.
This is amazing.
We are
My
joking
favorite
about a
bit.
man getting shot in the head.
Oh yeah.
There's actually another theory that the driver was the one that actually killed him.
You know what I would love to see? So you know how the Assassin's Creed games have a lot of very famous historical figures get involved in the events unintentionally.
Oh no.
I want to see an Assassin's Creed game that takes place during the Cold War, and I want to see either John F. Kennedy on the side of the Assassins or the Templars,
Oh my god.
and I want to see I want to have a boss fight with Lee Harvey Oswald, in which you have to try to kill him, but at the last second, like you're about to hit the final blow, but he just turns and pulls the trigger.
Oh my god.
You know, that actually made me think of something. I've been playing Wolfenstein recently, and interestingly enough, in Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, at one point you end up going to pretty much audition for a movie recapping pretty much your life, but they don't know it. They, no one else knows it. Only you and the Resistance know that you're taking this actor's place.
So get me pictures of Spider-Man, but Wolfenstein.
Kinda. But one thing is that one of the other people who was auditioning for the role of for the role of playing you was Ronald Reagan.
Oh fuck!
And do you want to know who was basically interviewing him for this?
Who?
Short mustache man.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I've seen that.
And he didn't salute him, right?
Oh no.
So he goes into a rage. He's like, "Where are you from?" Arizona, sir. And then he kills Reagan. He kills Reagan.
Oh no!
In the Wolfenstein timeline, Ronald Reagan was shot by Hitler.
No, you said the mustache man's name.
Oh fuck!
Oh my god. Well, if we're getting banned for any stream we've done, it's certainly gonna be this one.
irony.
That's real funny.
Okay, so when you said that Ronald Reagan was basically auditioning to play the role of your character, the only thing that I could think of was that moment from Back to the Future, where like Marty tells the doc like who's the president in 1985, and he just goes, "Ronald Reagan, the actor."
Wait, Ronald Reagan was an actor?
Yes.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, remember he was on that one VHS tape with the monkey?
Huh?
You need to be more specific. There's a lot of monkey movies.
There was only
VHS.
one monkey movie that had Ronald Reagan in it. That I fucking assure you.
Fair
I
enough.
don't
know what that one would be.
in Venezuela
Does
there's
that
actually a
mean
monkey
it
that
had
knows how to
two
smoke a cigarette.
presidents?
Yeah, I know that one.
What?
Isn't there like it's a zoo in another country, but it's basically like there was a gorilla in the enclosure that they taught how to smoke cigarettes.
No,
And
no, it was a chimpanzee or something like that.
oh, it's chimpanzee, but it was in a
Yeah.
zoo, and they taught the
It was in
chimpanzee how to smoke.
Venezuela, I think.
Oh, this might be this one.
Or no, wait, no, wait. I think no, it might have actually been China.
I think
Because
it
they
was
also,
China.
yeah, because they also had a bird that sung poems in honor of Mao.
I think it was Mao.
Huh.
But what they basically did, they taught the monkey how to smoke cigarettes because they thought that that would be funny and like a good little gimmick. And when it didn't have cigarettes for a long time, it would go into nicotine withdrawals and get so violent. Didn't it like beat one of its caretakers to a pulp or some shit? Like
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh my god.
I have to go rewatch that video because now I
Yeah.
remember what video I saw that from.
Yeah.
I have to watch that.
Yeah, and then there was the monkey that figured out how to paint, and its art managed to outsell Andy Warhol. The guy that
That's really
you know,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say that we need to get a bleep button.
No, we don't.
That's
Yeah,
too
we do.
fucking swear.
Here's something else.
We're never gonna get Twitch partner, Blushy. There's no reason for us to have a bleep.
And besides,
Yeah.
it's Twitch. You're still allowed to swear on Twitch.
I
Yeah.
know, but I'm talking about like for words that we say.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
We're allowed to say the names
No,
of
we just
historical
hold
figures.
down.
There's-
We just hold the button down for 2 hours straight.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
whole
No,
podcast.
no, because here's the thing, Plushy. People are allowed to play Wolfenstein on Twitch. We're
Yeah.
allowed to say the word Hitler.
Yeah.
I thought that was. Is that banned on?
One.
What platform is that banned on then?
I don't know.
I don't think no platform has banned Wolfenstein.
Okay, I feel like there is.
Wolfenstein is a very established game franchise. I don't think any platforms banned it.
I know that Germany still might have some issues with stuff like that because they really don't like to talk about that time in their history.
Nope.
They do
They-
not like talking about that.
They are the opposite of the American South. Yeah, no, but
Oh wait, are you talking?
yes, I'm talking about that.
They
but-
literally had to censor something in like a Tony Hawk game because like it had some lightning bolt decals on the underside,
Oh,
and it looked a bit too much like an SS.
Yeah, I saw that. But what was that other? I'm thinking of alternate reality time travel German shenanigans, and there's another game that's coming to my head. We used to play it all the time.
Hmm.
Was it? It was Xbox 360. Singularity. That's
Oh no, that was Russian. That
it was
Russian.
Russian.
Yeah, it was Russian.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, it was during. Yeah, I actually have that game.
Oh, sick! I need to play that game.
Yeah, it is actually interesting, although sadly it was rushed in the end, so you don't have much of a choice whenever it comes to the ending.
Right.
Do you mind if I spoil it a bit, or
Sure. Go ahead.
basically
You know how long
in
that
the
game
end,
must have been out?
what?
You know how long that game's probably been out?
But it is a
Good.
kind of it's a bit more low profile. But either way, one thing is that in the game, in the end, you get the choice of either killing Demichev, the lead, pretty much the czar of the world, or taking out the doctor who invented the time manipulation device, who can potentially rectify some of the issues with what's happened.
The good old TMD.
Yeah, or you can just kill both of them.
I take that option.
If you kill Demichev, you have to go back in time, and then you have to so many people have tried it, but they just can't get it because it's physically impossible. you have to kill yourself. Because you saved Demichev, like, in the initial thing, whenever like, you were in the main, like, observatory or whatever it is, a
That's
wave
right,
came
you
by.
do.
Yeah, you saved Demichev. And, like, you can shoot Demichev as much as you want, but the bullet will still just go straight to you. Because at one point you tried to wave yourself down and say, "Hey, don't save him, it's me." And actually, it's like, "Hey, don't save him, it's me, Renko." And then what ends up happening is that you don't listen, you don't do anything, and yeah. And then if you kill both of them, then it's like you're just kind of like this AWOL kind of force that just kind of screwed everything up and has gone into hiding. But if you side with Demichev, you actually basically become like an unstoppable force with the TMD.
I remember I was trying to think because I know that I've always like compared the two games to each other, Singularity and Wolfenstein. And then now I've realized the difference. Yeah, one was Soviet Russia, the other was the Nazis. So it was
Yeah,
like,
and the interesting thing is that with if you kill Demichev and save the doctor, then really what ends up happening is that it's just that it's just that in the end the doctor has or in the end, since you killed Demichev, the doctor becomes the new leader of the world. He might be a bit more benevolent. Heck, it even changes the intro. Like there's a post-credit scene where like you replay through the intro sequence of the helicopter flying in to investigate the place, and you see that you are, or that everything's kind of Russified pretty much. And then it's and then you just have like a statue that was broken before is now a statue of, or maybe a statue that was just of some random guy is now, actually no, I think it was a statue of Stalin. The statue of Stalin is replaced by the statue of the doctor with the TMD.
the TMD is generally one of the coolest devices I've seen in a video game.
It really is.
Like, it usually, Singularity, branching completely fucking off topic. Singularity is like, it's just like a standard, Cold War or World War II kind of shit era first person shooter. But then you get the TMD and you get access to all of these cool fucking time mechanics that also play.
Like you can slow things down. You can literally age someone forwards or backwards in time. You can age them into a skeleton, or you can turn them into a freaking cell clump.
And it's just like
abortion clinic here. Sorry, it's so funny. Just like,
have you ever heard of a 97th term abortion? Anyway.
Theoretically, you don't erase them from existence. You basically just regress them to a point where they're no longer there.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
I think that game would be even funnier if you could just like leave them at a certain stage. Like in the middle of you aging them backwards, you just let go of the button and all of a sudden there's just a child.
Or you just turn them into a feeble old man. It's like maybe you just age them to a point where they're still kind of alive, but they're just shriveled up on the ground, breathing heavily. They're just begging for you to kill them.
Make them go full geriatric and just watch as you mow down the rest of them. Or even worse, pull them back into the state of a child. But like through some kind of quantum shenanigans, they have all of their memories.
Yeah.
So they try to use their gun, but they just get launched into a fucking wall.
Heck, and like the puzzles that you can do with that, like I remember one thing was like you could I never actually thought
puzzles to like.
I never actually one thing you could do is that like at one point there's like this broken grate or this like broken garage door that you can't open. So what you do is that you take a barrel or a box, and you age it forwards to where it's a crumpled up piece of garbage, and then you slide that underneath the door, and then you reverse it
remember
back
that
to where it
puzzle.
stands up.
I remember that puzzle. That was a piece of shit to figure out.
Yeah, it really was.
It took us like 2 days.
How much
Oh,
did
that
you
was a
suck at that
great
game?
puzzle.
That moment when it takes you 2 days to figure out a puzzle.
Listen,
I mean-
I was a fucking dumbass.
I mean, here's the thing.
No,
here's the thing.
that's a mood,
we
though.
were here's the thing. We back in those days, we were basically working. We basically were going on the same playing field as like people back in like the 90s or 80s, like before like
No,
internet guides were around.
Neither of us had
Oh,
phones that
boy,
had
yeah.
data. The only working computer we had was at his house, but we had to walk all the way back down there.
Yeah, and it was like a Windows.
It was Windows like 7 or 8.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Let me see. When was Minesweeper last on?
Oh, that's a bad metric.
Oh no!
That's a bad metric for finding out age. When was Minesweeper last on?
When did they take Minesweeper off, actually?
I don't know, maybe sometime. They removed it from Windows 8, so it probably was a Windows 7. Maybe. I feel like the UI looked a bit older than that. Let's
Could have
see,
been
Space
6.
Cadet.
No.
It could have been 6.
Space Cadet Pinball.
Ugh, 73.
Oh, not 73.
I love 73.
No, it wasn't 73. That was the Windows. What was it? What was it?
It was
Windows?
removed from later issues due to.
Nice. Me too.
Yeah, all right. Discontinuation. Microsoft Windows. It might have been. No, it wasn't by the CD instructions. I don't think it required CD.
Interesting.
Let's see.
Maybe I'll have an older version, like of Windows 6?
Last release of Windows was this game. Maybe it was XP.
Oh, not XP.
Oh.
I
It very
remember this background. I distinctly
We
remember this
have to end in a
background
minute,
and all
y'all.
that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Outro. So we will definitely continue the conspiracy theories another day.
Kind of got
It might-
sidetracked.
It might be next week. It might be 2 weeks from now. We have to let Trace gather up a new list. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like more content like this, you can follow Moon on the channel Moonlit Dawn. You can follow Necro on Necrolix. You can follow the podcast channel that you are currently watching right now, if you can hear my words. And if you can't hear my words, fuck you. But
No.
if you can hear my words and you're not watching, how? But also, anyways, thank you guys so much. Do not eat that godforsaken chip. Please don't. I beg you for your own safety. Go subscribe to mine and Trace's YouTube channel, Classic Clips Productions. Go subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel. Do not cause too much agony. That's our job. Watch the world burn. We'll be around to light the flame. Don't eat the fucking chip. I'm being serious. Don't.